Hello, welcome to another episode of Don't Tell My Wife.
Yes.
Here, one of your hosts, Tonye.
And it's your boy, Ken.
And yeah, man, back again. Got another guest, another returnee.
Guest. Another returnee.
Don't Tell My Wife alumni.
I need a t-shirt, brother.
Yeah, man, you might need one still.
No, I want one.
Sorry, when we're getting t-shirts, we'll nice
merch, man.
But yeah, bro, if you can introduce yourself.
I'm Marvyn Harrison from Dog Bad Dads.
Yes.
Founder of the men's circle. Beloved.
That's a vlog.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back as well.
Thank you, bro. Honestly, appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I get envious when people come on here and they have good episodes. So
Is it? What's been, not to put you on the spot, but what's been like your favourite episode?
do you know what? It's hard to say because I catch clips.
Yeah.
So I'm a clipper.
Mm-hmm.
And you was talking, oh my God, I'm going to try and remember it. Let me come back.
Because
you were saying, you were asking a really important question.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be there.
Was it
and
a
I'm gonna
male
try and
guest or was it
remember.
a lady guest?
I didn't see the guest. It was you talking.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a sick question. And I wanted in.
Yeah.
And I'll come back.
Come back. But yeah, how's your week been, Marvyn? You
Start with you.
I'm so present. I'm trying to think of what I did a couple of days ago. I've had a great week, brother. I've had a really good week.
Yeah.
I've been chilling. Like being at home is really, really powerful to me. So no one really talks about men and how they should nest.
Yeah, because
we never talk about that. It's such a feminine term.
Yeah.
But being in your house, just organizing shit, cleaning shit, doing your washing, taking your time, folding your clothes out, just creating order in your place. Because I have a cleaner / housekeeper. So she does, every 2 weeks, she goes deep.
Yeah.
Like cleaning skirting boards, frames of doors, and like going in. And that resets me in such a big, big way, man. So I've been doing that all week. And then I've been on Jeremy Vine this week and I've been on Good Morning Britain this week. And I've had two crazy...
Yeah, I saw the Good Morning Britain clip.
I saw that.
The woman, anyway. We can talk about that.
Yeah, man.
But how do you find it going onto those kind of shows and then you're having like debates?
I'm cool with it, you know. Do you know what? When I first went, I took it too seriously. And I felt like I was fighting for the margins of justice. Like it was like a Marvel situation for me.
Yeah.
Like it's the good versus evil.
Yeah.
And then what I realized very quickly is like some of the people that are on there are just hired guns, bro.
Yeah.
They're being paid by people to have these views. And they don't hold these views with the passion that I hold them. So I just strongly believe in energetic right. So if you're right and you're coming from the right place, you can't defeat that. Like you can't pay somebody to outthink what you genuinely believe in your heart.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times when I'm there, it's really just about making sure the people at home can hear me rather than the person I'm speaking to. And so, so like the one I did on Jeremy Vine was with Belinda DeLucy. She was part of the Brexit party. She's now part of Reform. She's close friends with Nigel Farage. So the question was, should Nigel Farage be the leader of the opposition? As in, like, the Tory party aren't fit to be opposition. Should he be the official opposition to the Labour government? And it was just like, no, for like 400 reasons. I was just like, bam, 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 bam. But from her point of view, having a personal relationship with him, she felt like she could stand 10 toes down. I was just like, absolutely not. And there's a point where I'm mocking her. And because I'm just like, it's so absurd that like actually you're being disrespectful by making the point seem like it's a either or either.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was Good Morning Britain, and we were talking about should you hit your children, and it was based on a story of an actress called Gemma Atkinson who imitated pinching her son as a way of showing him that he shouldn't do it to his sibling. And the question was, should you show any form of physical harm or aggression to your children? And I'm just vehemently against it, like on 10.
Yeah.
Like I don't even like the idea of a threat. Like don't even come to my children and be like, or else. Because or else what?
Yeah.
Also, it's like the craziest thing is like if you've ever had a child, like I've seen children hit their parent and lash out at their parent or lash out and their parent hit them and then hit them back. Now where you going?
Yeah.
Like, well, now what?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's true.
now from our culture, we'd be like, no, that would never happen. We're too scared to bring it. But actually, a lot of it is to do with respect. It's respect first, and then understanding that there is no capacity that you can get away with it. But not getting away with it doesn't mean my mum's going to bruck me up. That just means that actually she's going to hold me to account on the highest level. And yeah, for me, I've never had to threaten my children, intimidate my children, actually hit my children in any way, shape or form. And I know it's possible.
can I answer your question on that?
Mm.
Like, I agree with you. Like, I'm on the stance of no beating my kids. I
But-
never want to beat my kids. But what I would say
But yeah.
is, were you like beat as a child
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
up?
Yeah.
You was as well, right?
Yeah.
I was.
Until I was about 12, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was. So why do you feel like now it's like a big no-no?
Because how did
Like,
you
what's the
feel when it
difference?
happened to you?
How did I feel? Obviously, it was upsetting. Like, I did feel I felt scared of my parents at times. Like, even my mum, there's some times where it's like, if she's shouting, you can't come close to her because she could just pow, you get me? So there was some feeling of like fear. But I knew, like, if I didn't want to get my ass whooped, I shouldn't do this. I'm saying.
Right.
No, but then you get better at hiding. So me, for example, it didn't make me stop doing what I was doing sometimes. It would just make me hide it better. So just because they beat me, I wasn't scared of the action that I'd done to get beat. I was scared of their reaction.
Because even my dad didn't beat me. It was my mum. My dad's way was like, I'll just take away your PlayStation. Or I'll just you're not watching TV this week or whatever. But I knew in like a week I'll get it back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like, how do you actually discipline kids? Like, what's the right way?
So it depends on how you perceive children, which I think guides the way that you interact with them. Some people see them as small people, and some people see them as like people in training. So I'm talking about, my children are adults in training. My job is to develop them. I can't develop them by hitting them. Like, if you think about the Arteta approach, there's certain things that don't work from back in the day that work now. So like the Alex Ferguson approach, we talk about the hairdryer. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You go up to a player, scream in his face, partially spit in his face, kick a boot at his head. You've lost the whole dressing room. You're gonna have a fight. Like, you're gonna have a lawsuit. Everything's gonna be against you.
Yeah.
You've got to find a way to get into the minds of the individuals. And then my thing is that most of us haven't been taught or understand how to develop people.
Yeah.
And we have children, and we think all we're doing is like, this person is gonna watch me and do what I say, and I'm gonna build him with my word. You ain't building nobody with your word. Because your children are studying you and they're watching your behavior. They are a mirror of who you actually are, not what you say.
Yeah.
And too often we come out and we're like, no, I'm just going to say, don't do this, don't touch that, don't go here. It's just full of instruction. But you're living in an unrighteous way and they can see you doing it. They see when you don't do this, put your plate in the sink. They see you. So now you're asking them for a behavior that you're not doing, and they call out the inauthenticity.
Yeah.
So it's a mirror to all your things. Your children is literally a mirror.
You know what's funny with that? Yeah. One thing that Malachi started doing. So say obviously if I'm in the kitchen and I slap Abby's bum or something like that, he'll run over and just hit.
Yeah.
And even like, for example, when I've like, say me and I was play fighting and I throw a pillow at her, he'll go and throw a pillow and start throwing stuff, and you're like, I'm like, bro, so I can't even throw stuff now because it's just like he's a sponge. He's just taking everything.
Yeah, but I think you want to contextualize it all. Like, my thing is you got to communicate. How old is your son again?
Like 16 months.
Cool. So he's nearing 2. He can understand tone. He doesn't understand the meaning of words. He understands tone. So if you say no, he understands. And you say, mummy, daddy, yes, you, no. Yeah, you can do stuff like that. People don't realize that is what they're learning from in the first 2.5 years. It's just your energetic read. When you get to the point of them actually saying words, you can be a bit more complex.
Yeah.
When you get to 6, you can actually explain ideas. So my son can't hit my daughter. Now, as in like universally cannot.
Yeah.
Now, she hits him. She can't hit him either. But if she does hit him, the answer isn't for him to hit her back. The answer is that you escalate to me. And I deal with her, which is a completely different framework. Whereas if it happens in inverse, it's a different problem. So if you don't teach those imbalances, because it is an imbalance, or technically someone would call it unfair in terms of like 1-for-1 likeness, but you got to teach them the nuance, because he'll go to school thinking it's appropriate that a little girl would be like, ha, 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 and then he'll just like square hit her.
Yeah.
Now we're dealing with something completely different. So it's incredibly important to take at the level that they can understand and give them that insight. So watching your child do those things, you have to correct him now. Because there's a barrier now of where we're playing, our adult game is not your game.
Yeah.
My adult drink is not your drink. It's just that.
Yeah.
No, I hear that.
But you know what? I think that's a good idea, saying, mummy, daddy, yes, you know. So he knows what no is. He knows what no is. So I'll try that approach.
But also, when you do that, hug him.
Yeah.
Like hugging and affirming him. So you're not telling him off. You're just correcting. It's course correction. And I feel like what most people don't do, it's like he picks up something he doesn't like or he throws it, and you're like, no. And he's like, and he freezes, and he's like, what the fuck did I do? Because I felt like that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, right, I can't do that. But then are you mad at me? Am I done something wrong? You hate me? It's like, no, it's not wrong. Just like, don't do it. Don't get into the idea of right, wrong, good, bad. Just get into boundaries, like lines, and then affirm them afterwards with love. Like, come here, come, and then hug them. We don't do that, okay?
Yeah,
and then he's
I've tried to do that a lot more recently. Yeah, I've been trying that instead of just saying no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Zeph, come, hug him, be like, no, you don't do this, blah blah. So I agree.
Yeah. When something else goes left, just say, come here, and be like, what's wrong? What's happening? What's happening for you? You okay? And then hug them and be like, we just don't do that. That's not how we talk to each other. Like, do it that way and you'll watch what happens, because he'll perk up quicker and have the affinity, but he's learned. The sharp no and they're like go off, or they're like raising your voice. Like now I'm doing this thing where I don't even call them from another room. Like if I want my children, I go get them. Because because there's this thing of like barking after your family.
Yeah.
It's a mad concept. Don't do it. That's not a loving way. So I have this thing about love is an experience. So I just think of what's the most loving experience that I can do. And that is if I need you and you're 2 rooms away, I go in and be like, hey, have you got a minute? Like I got to even check what they're doing. Like sometimes I'll come in the house and I'll say to them, all right, clean your room, take your clothes off, da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm giving them instructions. I go in the kitchen, 15 minutes has passed, but like I'm like into the next thing. Right, so after this we got to do, you're doing the bathroom, you're doing the toilet, then come out and we're going to do dinner. So I'm pushing them through the next things that they need to do faster than they're ready, right? So I've given them an instruction. I'm breaking the integrity of that instruction to get them into the next thing because I just want to get them to have dinner. Then I can switch off. But because I'm doing that, they're in the middle of a task.
Yeah.
So if I just yell that next task, they stop the task where it is, then go do the next one.
Yeah.
Then I'll come in the room and be like, why is the room not done?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, because you told us to go and do this.
Yeah.
So really going in and checking what my children are doing and align myself to them energetically. Because also they're like having a chat. Oh, today at school, Matthew did this and they're folding clothes. So me just like, Blake, Ocean. They're like, they freeze like something's wrong. They don't finish their task. Then they get pushed into another task. And it's just like, you're not aligned. So going into the room, saying, hey, what's up? When you finish this, please make sure you go do the bathroom. And they're like, yes. And then they go and do it. And then it actually gets done. So it's that for me. It's like making sure I'm not hawking after my family because I'm the man of the house and I can.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I can't lie. I think it's a very good point.
Interesting.
Yeah, I might have to put that into practice still. But yeah, just before we go into a bit more, so this month we're doing our song of the week, as you know from before. But this time for this month is strictly R&B. So we'll let you think of some quickly, and then we'll go.
I have a very narrow palette, and it's gonna be Nina Simone. So
okay.
I go on.
I think it's called "I Love You, Porgy." I love you, Porgy. That's how it kicks off.
Okay.
It is so rich in tone. Her voice is by far my favorite in the landscape. So Nina Simone, I Love You, Porgy.
Okay. All right, cool. Ken, go on.
I've got a couple. Would you class Java and Ashanti as R&B?
No, brother.
Is it?
I wouldn't call that R&B.
What's the lead artist name?
That's R&B though.
Isn't that hip hop?
What's the lead artist name, brother? What's the lead artist name?
Ashanti, man.
Last time.
You said it like she was here and you're trying to sweet her up, bro. Right? Don't look at me with your soft eyes, brother.
Nah, but you know what, yeah? This week I was just banging a lot of Java and Ashanti. And I think that's R&B.
Say that again, brother.
Huh?
Say that, brother, with your whole chest. Say it one more again.
I can say that again.
For the room.
One of them features R. Kelly. Are I allowed to do that?
No.
Nah, bro.
You're not allowed to do that.
Leave that, bro.
Leave R. Kelly and Diddy music alone. Bro. The fact that you even have to ask it.
No, but that sounds crazy, though.
It's why your generation is problematic.
I'm gonna... Okay, I'm gonna... You know what? Listeners, let me know if it's R&B because these guys are hating.
You on some generation war. Because last time...
These youth man, you know, bro.
Hey, don't kill me.
This is why we used to send you shop, bro. Because it's like, having you on the ends was long, bro. Go shop.
I'm screaming.
Okay, cool. So my songs of the week are Java and Ashanti, Mesmerize, and Always on Time.
Okay, cool.
I would class it as R&B.
We'll let you off.
50 Cent, serious.
My one is Mr. Okay. TGT Explode. Yeah, nice.
Proper R&B.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what, yeah?
I don't think.
Okay.
No, TGT is like R&B,
Yeah.
R&B. That's
You know
like,
what?
you know if
I'm
you know
a vibes
R&B.
guy, like you said the last time. I'm a vibes guy.
Bro, we
I
gotta
like
talk
to
about
vibe,
it,
man. Like, you get me?
This one, I don't know if it's R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is, but it's a bit old school. Sassy and Ghetto Romeo, and it's called Kiss You.
Don't
It's
even know who that is.
Old school.
Nice tune. It's very old.
I'm gonna add Scissor and Snooze.
Okay,
Ooh, big tune.
Fest.
Scissor's one of my favourite artists.
Nah, that's cool.
Yes, between Scissor, Thames, they're giving me life. They're my 1 and 2.
You know, Scissor's like one of the only artists that I can listen to her album like no skips. Yeah,
Same for Thames, to be fair. I just put it on. It used to be what Drake was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be.
Drake-
In it, but
No, Drake
Nah.
has a couple skips though.
No,
his albums.
not Take Care. Nothing was the same.
Fair enough.
That's no. Bro, I was even listening to a couple songs from Nothing Was the Same earlier. Oh, bro.
I know. You just leave it on and you're like, oh, it's still going.
Yeah, bro.
That's like Scissor Control,
listen-
one of my favourite
Listen
albums.
to Nothing Was the Same. The first time Nothing Was the Same came out, Palmer's,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
But in the morning, I was downloading it on my laptop to put on my phone.
Yeah.
Serious tape. But Baby Devs.
Yeah, I've got
You
one
got
this
anything?
week. I've got a couple that's been funny, but I've got one though, and I want you to, because you got 2 children, so you will let me know what you think about this year. So I was on the Nursery app. So when they take pictures of like family, what they do, etc. Obviously, amazing Nursery. I can't fault them. This week, yeah, I saw Zeph in like they were doing like fancy dress.
Yeah.
And he was wearing like a Frozen costume. What, the girl, you know the girl in Frozen? I can't remember her name. Elsa. He was wearing that. So I sent it to my wife and I was like, well, what do you think about this, babe?
What do you think about it?
That's what I was, let me get there. I said, we were just like, whoa, like what do you think about this kind of thing? And I was like, I don't know if I like it, you know. And then she was like, but like, it was dress up kind of thing. Like, he could have just asked to put it on, blah, blah. But it was like, no, like, let's message them, innit? And just say, like, what's going on? Like, why is he in a girl's costume? And they were like, oh, it was just soft play. I mean, it was just costume, dress up. Like, all the kids were just picking what they wanted. And he chose that. But they were like, if you're not comfortable with it, next time you can encourage him to pick other ones, etc. And we were like, cool, thank you. So when I got home that day, we were just like, wow, like, what do we think about this? And I'm on the fence here because I'm like, he's only 2. Like, he doesn't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Well, he may know or he may not know. I was just like, I would rather him choose
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What's the fare?
The fare is honestly, like, I think, and I don't want to be cancelled. Guys, don't cancel
Brother,
me.
it's a fear.
But
it's an irrational fear.
I think my fear is him growing up thinking that wearing girl stuff is okay. Because I don't know where that's going to lead to in his mind.
Define girls stuff.
Like dresses and like girl clothes, like pink, and not even pink, but because I wear pink, that's not even enough. So scrap that. But just like dresses, like if he's dressing up, he's wearing a tutu. Or
what's
whatever.
the fear pertaining to you? Because he's wearing the dress, so he's not making you wear the dress. So what's the fear that?
I think it's just.
What does that mean to you? What does it represent?
I think it's just him growing up, and you know what? Obviously, the LGBT thing, it's like it's prominent now. Like kids are being taught you can be whoever you are, what you are. It's like I just don't want that to be encouraged in him at that stage of his life.
But what if he just is?
He's not, bro. Like, he's not.
Serious question.
But yeah, what? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, like, obviously, he's very close to his mum. And like, when she's trying on her clothes and stuff, he's around her. So that's what he sees. Do you know what I'm saying?
So the Christian household.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, when you inject fear into a situation, you actually change the trajectory of something that's about to happen. If you think about someone who's 2, 3?
2 and 6 months.
2 and 6 months. Think about someone that's 2 and 6 months. In their lens, it's always very literal. There's no concepts in their minds yet. So if he's seen someone on TV, sees somebody projected at him, just as any icon, him replicating it has no other meaning than I want to be a character that I've seen. So it's just familiarity. I've seen this on TV.
Yeah.
I want to be the thing that I saw on TV. That would be cool. When you add your adult lens to it, it kind of then changes it into, I want to be a girl. That's not what he's saying. Like, you've literally seen someone on TV, we've made a big deal. So unless you're going to remove all images and representation of women from him, he's always going to look at it as literal as that.
Yeah.
He gets socialized into gender in school anyway. He'll be socialized into, we're the boys, we're stronger, smarter, faster. He'll get that. He'll come back to you one day and say that stuff to you, and you're going to have to sit there and correct him and be like, brother, wait, okay. Before you go into that. So there's time. Don't make anything at this time have that level of meaning to impact how you allow him to express himself. He's allowed to have a female hero. I'd be more concerned that she's white. No, I'm joking. But like, but I think allow him to have a hero that's a woman that he can be like, oh, I want to be like that because it's kind of cool. Then interrupt it, worry about gender, and then actually it's never going to manifest into that ever.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard that. That's calming to hear still. Because I was just like, right, like.
It's a dope question to ask though.
Yeah.
And this is why I say, for me, when people get cancelled, it's because they're careless with their curiosity. You're curious about what does that mean, and you're a parent. If you don't think about these things, you're not even doing your job.
Yeah.
Is there a relationship between his choices now at 2 years and 6 months and who he will become? Is this about him expressing who he is, or is this about environmentally pushing him and coercing him into an outcome? It's a question. So dance with the question and express it and explore it, but really going to understand the psychology of children is understanding that they are just literal. It's like, you have a cup and you drink it, I want to do the same. They're not sitting there thinking about, I want a beer and I want an alcohol and I want a wine. They're thinking, I want to be like you, so I'm just going to copy what you do. And it tastes like trash. So therefore, they will learn in their own time and way that these are not things that I want to do.
True.
No, I agree. But yeah, another thing that happened this week. So so question that I have for you guys. Do you guys wash your hands every time you use the toilet? Like,
Yes.
Even if you're going to wee, like every single time?
Every single time.
Every single time?
Yes,
Like,
every
cool.
single time.
I do it more often than not. Yeah. So
This is the craziest segue.
I do it more often than not, yeah.
My guy.
I was watching football this week, yeah. That's what Tottenham was playing, yeah. And then so I quickly ran to wee, and then I quickly ran back. And my son was like,
You're a Man
Daddy,
United
wash
fan as well?
hands. No, Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah. So my son, he came, he's in that potty training era now. So he follows me every time I want to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
So he came, and then obviously I finished flush toilet. I'm gonna run back to catch the game. He was like, Daddy, hands. I said, yeah, my 2-year-old son is reminding me to wash my hands.
Brother.
I said, sorry, I went to go wash my hands.
Brother.
You have to
That was so funny,
to the
man.
grave if it was me.
Bro,
man.
do you know what?
Nah,
I can see the caption where it's just like 10 spies and torture leaders would never get this shit out of me. Brother,
Hey,
please
don't
wash your
kill me.
hands, brother.
No, I do. But on that occasion.
That's not actually true though, is it?
No, I do though. Like, I do.
Hey,
Like,
Marvyn's honest, bro.
I do. But just on that occasion, I didn't, innit? And I can't lie, listeners, yeah, bro. Come on, please.
No, listeners are
You
gonna
don't
cook
always
you.
wash your hands, bro.
Listeners are gonna cook you.
Let them cook me.
It's like
They can't cook me,
when
can't
white
cook
people say
me.
I don't wash my legs.
Bro.
The water just trickles down. It's that shit. Brother.
Wait, do you wash your legs in the shower?
Yes.
No, I do.
I
And
scrub.
I promise I do.
scrub,
I scrub
bro.
my whole body. But some people don't think to wash their...
Yeah, people
That's
that
like Bushmen.
people
Some people
that
don't
have
think
one
about it.
washcloth for their whole body, them people there, bro.
They're more-
Man's washing his ass and then washing his face.
Oh,
I love
man.
that.
Do you have 2 washcloths?
I have one.
You slightly should have 3, but it's
But I
cool.
use... Anyway, let's not get into
hands,
that.
brother.
No,
Nah, bro.
For my bum, I was...
This
soap and
brother,
hands.
listen, this conversation is too important. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being deadly serious because we're gonna mock here,
Mhm.
but people at home don't understand the level of hygiene that's required.
Well, how
okay?
many do you need then?
You need 3. Yeah,
One? Okay, go on.
you need 1 for your front, you
Mhm.
need 1 for your back,
Mhm.
you need 1 for your body.
Hey, man, I just have the Africans.
African sponge.
sponge.
and
No,
then
I
use
get
my
it.
hands.
Some people use hands. If you go to South Asia, they use hands and they do it regularly and wash their hands comprehensively. But in best practice, move to that scenario. But at the very least, you should have 2. You might be able to get away with doing your front and back with 1 and your body and face
Yeah,
in
my
another.
wife has 2.
First,
But really, your face cloth should be slightly different. Should be
I heard
exfoliant.
that,
Because we're grown ups now. We can't be just using like dry ass palm olive on our face,
But I
brother.
use like face and then I like proper.
Yeah,
like
like
face
take the
wash.
time.
Yeah,
you look good. You look good.
Yeah,
I use
I
my
got
wife's
on spot,
skincare, bro.
You're not
Like,
serious.
I use
Yeah.
hers still.
It's about the same, but it's more expensive for women.
Mm.
So you should just get your own.
No,
It's easier.
first. Okay.
But yeah, that's what happened.
I will put that. You know,
No, but wash your hands every time.
No,
though. That's
still,
not
yeah, no,
negotiable.
that one, that's red card, bro.
Yeah,
that's red
red
card.
card, but yeah, man.
But also, can I make the point of like when I say that your children model you?
Yeah.
Because you'll tell him to go wash his hands, but also slightly he caught you not doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by they see you and they just mirror you. Like they are literally you.
Like, he's in that stage now where he copies everything. Every
You're his hero,
thing.
man. Like rightly so.
No, honestly. Marvyn, do you have any baby developments?
My son just turned 9.
Oh.
He's just an incredible human being. I'm so proud of him. I was rolling with him for a couple of hours just before I came here. And just watching him, man. He's so calm.
Happy birthday to your son.
Yeah, man. He's calm and he's just moving in a really dope way. My daughter sent me the most adorable voice note in the world. Like when I cried. I cried like a child. Wow. Brother, I'm sorry. I have to show this, yeah. And I don't have her permission, so I'm gonna have to ask for forgiveness later on.
Yeah.
But when she sang at this, yeah, I literally stopped in my tracks and I just cried because she's been working on a play for Black History Month. I'm gonna play it in.
Did your lady friend leave the nest again? That is very sad. Makes me feel so bad. You can fly away in the sky away. You're more lucky than me.
Oh my God.
How old is she? Is she like 6,
man?
Yeah,
that's the stage of pain. That's gonna be so.
Bro,
that is so cool.
I just stopped in my track. I just started crying because I was like, it was such a surprise, and I was just like, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And more just like because she's my little, you know.
Yeah.
When you're in that dad zone, I'm in that dad zone right now where everything is making me emotional.
Yeah,
that kind of happened to me the other day.
Yeah,
man. Like I think we was just chilling. Like my son now, he starts saying like, "Love you, mummy, love you, daddy." So he said it to me randomly. She's like, "Oh, like,
yeah, brother, I love you too, bro."
Yeah. Nah, I hear, man.
People don't get that.
Get emotional with that, man.
People don't get those little things. Like as a male experience, we don't get to experience love in the world often. Like the way we experience it in our partner is very, very specific. But wider than that, how many people come up to you and be like, "I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I really love you." Like they speak into you. That don't happen often.
Nah.
So when your kids do it, I can't breathe. I'm like, what's going on right now? My chest, I'm having a heart attack. It's the best thing ever. When I hear about men and dads not being in their children's life and not having that, it's not even like I judge them. I just mourn that. I mourn that you won't even know what that is, and you're trying to get it in the world from other women or from other people. It will never happen in the same way.
100. My baby development, bro, it's just trying to get him to like brush his teeth. Bro, like, I need, like, honestly, I was even gonna shout you for tips, bro, because like
there's no tips, bro.
Abs just what she does. So my mom was telling me obviously that to be brushing his teeth. So we had a normal toothbrush in it. Then I was like, my mom said, "Oh, okay, no, get an electric one. So at least, you know, if he just puts it there, it will be doing it." So obviously he's bathing now. Give him the toothbrush because if you try and do it for him, he'll start screaming and then push it away. But what he does now, he'll take the toothpaste, be licking the toothpaste, and then he'll just be messing around with the toothbrush. So it's just a real struggle to get him to start brushing his teeth. Yeah, that's
what
it.
we do. Also, you can say because you're well advanced than us in your stage of parenting. But what we've done now is I will brush or she will brush his teeth in the morning. Then in the night, like we give it to him to like play with. Yeah. And like we kind of guys. So we'll brush our teeth and he will like copy us and try and do it with us. But he will just be doing like anything. But at least know, cool, if he's brushed his teeth that day. So whatever he does is like a bonus. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you do in the morning though? Do you hold him and
I just sit down. Brush your teeth.
Push through.
When we're getting, obviously, because to get him ready for nursery, etc., I'm like, you need to brush your teeth. So he'll cry at tantrum, but I'm like, you need to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Then I'll just hold him, then just brush his teeth.
But
now he's like, before it was like, no, don't come near me. But now he
knows it's happening.
Yeah. He's like, he'll even sit down. Like,
I think it's just that point.
I think any behavior, if you do it for a week and you push through, they then don't resist for week 2.
Yeah.
The maximum I've ever waited, any phase is taking 2 weeks for them to adopt. So I did the same thing. I did the hold down and brushing the teeth because I just don't believe in stink mouth. It's not
No,
appropriate.
honestly.
Yeah, especially
And then
with kids
now,
as well.
but I tell you now, I think partly the taste of it is quite an extreme taste. Even the children's toothpaste is still quite a lot.
Mhm.
So maybe changing the type of toothpaste might help you to a
Okay,
more fun one. But also you just like, just get it done.
Yeah.
And just explain what it is and how. But I think they try to avoid it all the way through.
Yeah.
Like it's not like now, even my kids now are like, did you brush your teeth? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Come on.
You better go back. Yeah.
Forget, you know.
But yeah, so what we've started doing, we've got like a little trivia section. So we've got 10 questions for you. And we made it, I did try and make it generation specific, so you're not out of your depth.
Bro, that's my disrespectful. Man said generation like I'm dead, you know.
Yeah,
like I'm your
you're not even
parents.
that much.
Bruv, everything you know, I know. What do you mean?
Nah, man.
Since Marvyn came on this pod, he's been talking about generation, bro.
Wait, did you tell us your age last time on the episode?
Probably.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm a grown-ass man. Let's start there.
Okay, you see?
But anyway, don't worry, I made it specific. So obviously, okay, so we'll go from now. Okay, first question.
That's too funny.
What does SBTV stand for?
Smoky Bars TV.
Oh, Smoky Boys TV. But I might give you that.
Say smoke.
What, SBTV?
SBTV.
Jamal Edwards SBTV.
Check.
Brother,
Because
Smoky Bars.
It said boys.
Smoky Bars.
It might be Smoky Bars, you know.
Smoky
Is it?
Bars. It 100% is. That's my guy, I know.
Ish. I need to recheck.
That's cool. You do
my
your own
dick.
questions, bro. Clip that, brother.
Yeah, Smoky Bars.
Smoky
still.
Bars.
Yeah,
Smoky-
yeah,
Oh, maybe
yeah.
I wrote it wrong. Then.
Smoky Boys, you know. You wish it was, innit? Look at you, bro.
Hey, VAR,
offside. But yeah. Alright, ding ding 1 point. Okay, ping was a feature used on which device?
Ping. I don't know.
I think that's me. Well, our generation.
Ping.
Ping. So it was like something.
Blackberry Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Mm.
What launched first, Facebook or YouTube?
YouTube.
No, Facebook. You know,
2007.
Facebook. Remember, Facebook was. I don't have the dates, but remember, Facebook was in like a very early stage.
The technicality. I hear you.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. What was the first Marvel film released in the 2000s?
Blade.
Yeesh, I think it's Iron Man. You know.
Brother, it's Blade, brother.
That's it, bro. The book, the arm says Iron Man,
Brother.
Your questions are wrong.
It was Blade. Blade is the number one.
Okay, wait, hold on. Blade.
Blade was first.
Because Iron Man was 2008.
You're talking about the
Blade was
the,
1998.
the new
still.
universe. So it's Blade. Blade is the first Marvel
Blade
film.
is 1998.
I
Hands
said
down.
in the 2000s.
But that question is wrong.
What was the first Marvel film released in the 2000s?
Bruv, that's not a question though. The
That is
first
a
Marvel
question.
film is a question.
Hey, don't tell me
The
about
biggest
podcast.
grossing is a question.
Bro, this is our
All
rules.
right, what's the first one that was launched in 2010s? That don't make no sense.
I don't. It's our podcast. We make the rules. We make the trivia.
I feel like I'm a senior. I feel like I'm a senior. So
Which album featured the Kanye classic "All Falls Down"?
graduation.
College
Oh,
Dropout.
College Dropout. Sorry, the first one.
I take it.
Wait, so
back.
how
That's
many,
a bad
how
joke.
many has he got right?
Technically 3, but I
Let's
think
say
we're
Smoky Bars, Pick, Blackberry. So he's got 2 out of 5.
3 out of 5, brother.
What, the Marvel one?
Yes.
We'll circle back after. All right. Who wrote the song "Are You Gonna Bang Though"?
Funky D.
Okay, yep, correct. In 2007, Tony Blair resigned as Prime Minister and the leader of the Labour Party. Who succeeded him?
Gordon Brown.
Yeah, you got that right. Name the instant messaging bot that was found on both MSN Messenger and AOL Instant Messenger.
The bot.
The bots. Smarter Child.
No, I definitely don't.
Do you remember that? Yeesh, I don't know.
He
I said
does.
it, but still. Okay, which song did both KTB and Miss Dynamite appear on together?
Together.
Yeah,
Was it a remix?
I just have the song here.
Brother. You're far from a quizmaster, you know. You're a good dude, but you're not a quizmaster. I don't know.
Lights on. I keep on moving with the
lights on.
In a clash with Bashi, Get said he was a bad boy in jail. Who was the person?
Ask Carlos.
Yeah, well done. Okay, cool. So you got 1,
I got half.
2, 3,
Done well, to be fair.
4, 5. Yeah, you got half, bro.
Brother, I don't know how
Could-
old you
could've
think
been
I am,
6.
you know. Most of that is my era, but it's cool, innit? I'm fine.
But most of it
But
is-
that's
it's still
Blackberry,
out
you
era,
know.
Nah, Blackberry's our is our era
Blackberry's
still.
out era.
I met
No,
my
but you're
wife
just-
on Blackberry,
You're
bro.
just a little bit on
Yeah,
top of
but
us. We're
I
still
was
the same
still in my
era.
prime. Get Basher on my age, but they're my age mates.
I was screaming. But yeah, but I did say, just to go back to the episode.
Mm.
So obviously the last time you came, you talked a lot about different things. So what are you doing? Like, what's the main focus of Dope Black Dads? Like, what are you doing now that's like to do
My
with men?
biggest thing at the moment is Men's Circle.
Mm.
It's building steam, and we're really gathering men from all around the world. And well, there's two things: Men's Circle, which is gathering men around the world
Mhm.
and putting them into a developmental phase that's consistent,
Mm.
and a group of men that are holding each other to account and like supporting each other.
Mm.
Doing things like nature walks and sometimes like whiskey evenings, just like stuff that men need to do together that's healthy.
Mm.
The other thing is Black Joy Motive. That's just like a group of my friends, and I'm actually going out after this, but a group of my friends, and we just say what's on this week. Everyone throws stuff in a diary, and we're like, we're going to roll and we're going to go together.
Mm.
And I think really what that is that I think a lot of people are suffering from loneliness,
Mm.
and they don't know how to communicate it because they got loads of people around, but there's no rich experience, there's no bonding, there's no connecting. And so I tried to make it so there's no fees, there's no money. It's just like we're together, we all have the same values. When we go out, we got each other. So like what's lovely is that my friends now have become friends and they hang out together when I'm not around. And so now that makes the whole bond tighter. So if I say one person comes, 5 people will just pop up. So for me, I think that's like a really rich experience. So Black Joy and Men's Circle are the 2 richest, most active. And then Dope Black Dads for me is very much like whenever we're doing, we need a vehicle to talk about fatherhood, that's the vehicle. And it's by far the most richest and intense. And we like develop quite a lot of young men into fatherhood. And a lot of men check in with me just to be like, look, this is what phase I'm at. What's happening? What do you know? What's the group saying? And I cannot explain how valuable that is. Because it's just like a wealth of knowledge that I now have about men, masculinity, mental health, Black experience, being a dad, being a co-parent. You just learn stuff and you're like, actually, we can make sure this is a resource for everybody. So it's super dope.
Yeah. So in terms of things like Men's Circle, so give a bit more information. Like how can you
So
join
Men's Circle happens at Shoreditch House. It happens every second Saturday in the month. It's 9 to 11 in the morning.
Mm.
You basically just turn up. We join in a room. It's a room for up to 50 people. We normally have between 15 and 50 that turn up, and we just have a conversation about a particular thing. And everybody we either go back and forth, and I'm sharing what the ideas and the framework is for it, or we go away, we do a little bit of work on our own, little work in a group, and just try to explore an idea. I think last time we did something about when we lost our virginity, we had a conversation about when we lost our virginity and was it everything we thought it was going to be? Because actually for a lot of men, the actual premise of it originally was that I think a lot of men, when we have sex to ejaculate. We don't have pleasure around the ejaculation. So a lot of men don't even know where their zones are. They don't know what their kinks are. They don't know about their own body, what moves them, what motivates them. And actually, there's an education that women have received that men, it's just like, if they don't ejaculate, it's not fun. Or they've not done something right, or they don't like you. Or if they can't get erect, it's because, they're not attracted to you, or they just had sex somewhere else. Or there's some sort of sinister reason. And for some men, actually, they need a different type of stimuli. And if you don't even know what it is, you don't even know what it's asked for. If you're too ashamed to ask for those things, you're having unpleasurable sex. And that's the worst thing in the world to be doing. So there are men who have sexual fatigue and they're just like, I don't want to have sex. When you get older, your desire for sex changes. And like people having sex 5 times a week and 7 times a week is like, it's long. Like I'm tired.
Bro.
So, but what I'm saying is that education doesn't exist to even know that men may not at times want to have sex. If men are depressed, they don't want to have sex. If they're having mental health challenges, they don't want to have sex. If you don't even know your kinks, if you don't know the things that you like and the things you don't like, you haven't explored, then really and truly, what are you doing it for? You're doing it for that moment of ejaculation. But every moment outside of it, you're really just providing a service to somebody else with a hope that you just don't get spoke about negatively. Like they don't just say that you're whack. So we're so busy trying not to be offended or being told that we ain't not anything, that we're not really even focusing on our own pleasure. And if women aren't being pleasured, then that's just 2 people doing what?
Yeah, pointless.
So we were challenging that idea about when we lost our virginity, how did it actually feel? Did it stand up to what we thought it was going to be? And are we actually engaging in pleasure, or are we just trying to build friction so that we can either A, use it as a way to get a hug that we can't get any other way? Sometimes you don't even need sex, you just need a hug. You want someone to hold you and rub your head, but you're like, if I can't really ask for that, and the only way I know how to get that type of closeness and intimacy is through sex. So I'll give sex, but really what I need is just some closeness. All of those things, like by asking those questions and exploring it, we just found out that a significant amount of men are having sex when they don't actually want to, including with people they don't really want to have sex with. That creates harm not only for them, but also creates harm for the women that they're doing it to, because inherently the motive in terms of the experience of that woman believes that they're having a genuine experience with somebody, but really they just wanted some friction and they wanted a hug. And maybe they could have got it if they were being honest. So it's that type of thing, and we were trying to push ourselves in our knowledge and understanding with the goal to create less harm for other people, but actually a greater impact in the world for us.
Yeah.
So that's really what Men's Circles are about.
No, that's great. So so in terms of how long have you been in Men's Circle for? It's been
I've been doing it on and off for 5 years, but the last 2 years with Shoreditch House, we've been doing it on an ongoing basis. So it's dope.
And how have you found it in terms of men actually coming and being more open and developing?
We have men who are 65. We had a guy that was 65 and he was trying to have his third wife, and he was adamant that he just wanted to come to this space and have a chat about his experience before he went in and found his final wife. That's what his language was. We have men who are basically, I think our oldest contributor is like 70. And our youngest has been about early 20s. All races, all background, all everything. We've had some incredible stories. We've had really powerful men who've been incredibly successful. But because they went into boarding school, because their parents never really was close in their life, they've never been able to express their feelings, never been able to cry. They just become really highly achieving. And their idea of being highly achieving is what they use to transact off to create love for themselves. Like, you love me because I do all these things for the family. But anyone that's done this, when you achieve the things in your family, that doesn't necessarily mean they have more affinity with you. It doesn't mean they love you anymore. And it's heartbreaking if you've been sold the dream that money and stuff will get your family to love and respect you, because it doesn't. If when you come into the house, you're energetically not adding positive value to the house, they will tell you. They won't give two. After a while, they'll be dismissing your gifts. You're sitting there being like, oh yeah, I worked really hard and now I've afforded you this. And they're like, oh, they'll take it, but they won't check for you. And so I did a panel at Black History Month about a week ago, and I was like, men have a different mission. It's actually self-interested. Because everyone thinks it's like, look after your kids, look after your wife, but actually it's like, look after yourself. Create a direct relationship with each of your children individually. Don't think about it's just like a collective blob of family and you're doing your job. Every single person has their own needs. So if you don't identify them and hold the space in that way, when you're 50, 55, they're not going to come check for you. No one's coming home from university to be like, oh, how you doing? Or did you go to the hospital? And you won't build, if you don't build that relationship with your partner, she won't want to be with you. So I think a lot of men are getting sold the wrong idea of what it is. And they're getting 60% of the way and thinking like, yeah, I have all the things. But no one really talks about the last part. Everyone goes quiet when it's like time to be 50 and your knees don't work as much and your blood pressure is high and no one actually is checking for you. And actually when you're in your house and you speak, people look at you and they kind of like carry on what they're doing. No one talks about that side of things. So I want to make sure that this generation of men are really having affinity. Like, that's a goal. Affinity. Don't just provide, have affinity.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I'm just trying to think of how to word it. In terms of like manhood, maybe it's a bit of a loaded question, but what is it to be a man in terms of like, what do you need to be a man and the checklist that we should be starting to check off now?
So I would say discipline and consistency and purpose are the 3 pillars of it. You start there. So you need a person that's like, why do I wake up every day? What am I going to contribute to the world? Whether to make the world better, to make it fairer, to make it easier to exist, to make it whatever. But your mission should be pure and it should in itself improve humanity in some way, shape or form for somebody. And whenever you're doing that, it's like for every pro, and there will be an anti. In the anti, how do I minimize the negative impact on that thing? A simple example is, if I'm going to cut down trees to make paper to give people school books, but I'm cutting down trees. So in that process, I must replace the trees that I'm cutting down. So there's a 25-year life cycle of new trees being developed for the books that I'm going to be created. Like that's the kind of mentality you have. So put that into your purpose. And then really you need discipline. Because if you think that you can be running off vibes, you're going to get eaten alive.
Yeah, discipline's the biggest thing.
Yeah, the world is going to world you. So my thing is like, what is your discipline? What are your things? What are your shadows? What are your kinks? What are your uncomfortable things? The things you pretend that don't exist that you really want. If you don't identify them and enroll people in what those are, they will come out of control because you're going to inherently try to lean into them at probably the worst time. There are men who have an addiction to sex or have a misguided understanding of intimacy, or they use drugs as a vice, they use alcohol as a vice, and they pretend that they're not real. They think if they put it into the shadows, that it doesn't show up. But slowly it eats away at you and it will come out.
Yeah.
So for me, bringing those stuff out and enrolling your people around you into where your challenges are. If you're in a relationship and you can't say those things to your partner, your relationship is incomplete. If you don't have a friend or some family members that you can be like, look, this is where I get stuck. I need you. I need your help in this. And you can't enroll them in it. It will unravel. So the discipline will help you to be focused on delivering against your purpose, causing the minimum amount of harm, but not depleting yourself in some sort of noble idea. And then it's about consistency. So doing that stuff over a long period of time. So just focus on those things and you will start to see that your life gets created for you. And I can say things like go to the gym and eat right. And I'm not trying to create a machine. I'm trying to make sure you create a sustainable vehicle for you to exist in as a man that allows you to be all parts of yourself. And then you get to actually tell the people in your life how they can show up for you in that way to make it realistic that you can actually live inside your life. Do not perform for your family. You will fall down.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what's crazy is that like you've seen very, very successful men not have discipline, and then something happens, scandal happens, and then it all comes tumbling down. So I agree, discipline is definitely one of the.
But what you have to also understand, perfectionism is like also created by societal pressures for you to be perfect. Means that Will Smith will pretend that he is a whole complete person. He is not scarred by the impact of what his dad did to his mother and what he had to observe and his dad's way of treating him and forcing him into building a wall with perfect bricks at like whatever age he was. He'll act like that isn't a thing and it's all fun and it's vibes and it's me and my family, we're perfect until it's not. And the fall down was so great and it's lasted so long and the ramifications are still continuing and it interrupts his present in a way that actually is really uncomfortable for him. And it's not really fair to the true legacy of what is contributed to the art form. But for me, I believe it's the same thing. Every time you suppress the thing and it comes out, it's going to come out and it's never going to go away. So making it a part of your genuine truth, meaning maybe you don't ascend to the highest, but whatever you build will not fall. Whatever your thing is built into whatever you build. People know that that's a part of your character. They don't judge it for you when they discover it. It's your true value system, your true behaviors. And that's scary because people will sit there and judge you for like not washing your hands, but make a big deal out of it like you're a demon. You don't wash your hands, you're disgusting, and then you touch your children, you're disgusting, you're dangerous, and da-da-da. But they don't do shit. So that's what creates the fear. We judge other people knowing that our shit isn't all together anyway. So trying to create a culture where you like understand your own shadow, there's a small group of people that can actually support you in that. And actually, it's nobody's business after that. So you're not telling because you're out of shame. You're just not telling because it's nobody's business. But if somebody does discover, you're unmoved by it. Do you know what I mean? It's like who I am. Yeah, of course, that's who I am. That's what I believe.
Yeah. So there's a lot of men that I think a lot of men would want to be in that position where they can go and talk to people and stuff like that. But obviously, some people haven't been brought up to do that or haven't come from a home to do that. How would you reckon? Like, how do you reckon? As someone who, so for example, for me, I can talk about my feelings here and there. I think it just depends on where it is really. But I think I've had to learn that over a period of time. So if you have someone fresh that doesn't do that, doesn't know how it is to express themselves, how do you think they should go about?
Well, I gathered the language through my therapist. So us talking about the patterns of my behavior, my story, and how I exist, and then being able to then communicate that to people around me meant that they understood why I would do certain things or why I would feel certain things. So I would start within therapy. One thing I'll say when you're doing therapy is not a silver bullet. And it's also not just like a sentence you say. It's like, I go therapy. Like, it's not, you're not doing it for that. You're doing it to understand your story. You have come from somewhere. You have had experiences that have created a form of a pattern that you are even in tune to. But if you don't understand the pattern, if you don't have language for the pattern, you actually can't change the behavior. The language is the first part of the change. So if I know, like we now walk around and everyone says I'm triggered by everything. But if you don't understand what being triggered is just an identifier of your own work that you need to do. So if you trigger me, that's not your fault. That's mine. Yeah. And too often we make it out like, oh, this person's triggered me, so they're bad. It's like, you sitting here being tall with a beard could trigger me because somebody else tall with a beard punched me in the face once. Now I'm just looking at you. Yeah. But that's not your responsibility. We need to ask you to shave your beard. Yeah. And what we've done in developing this language is made lots of scapegoats for people to not be accountable for the things that they have to work on. So the first thing that you do when you're in therapy is you go in with the big question, the dark thing that's in your mind. I like this too much, but I don't feel comfortable liking this thing. I watch this too much and I don't want to be watching porn, or, I get angry at my wife and sometimes I look at her and I think I want to punch her in the face. Because it's a therapy, the separation between believing you're going to do it and the sharing of it. So identifying that I don't like this thought. I don't want to do that. But that's what goes through my head. Why is that? And then they'll talk it through with you and structure an understanding with you so that you understand that when it happens, what can you do? What language do you say to yourself in your head to bring yourself down? What other routines and behaviors can you create so that you're not going around in your house creating this horrible energy? And the honesty is incredibly important. Once you have the language, then you can go to your friend and be like, sometimes I suffer with rage. I just get angry at certain things. And I don't even know why I'm getting angry. And like, it's never really happened with us, but sometimes when my partner talks to me like this, I just get rage. And I just like, if you talk to people about that, and it's like, what I've done is I'm working on it, and I've discovered that this is related to a time when my mum used to talk to me and would never allow me to have my say. So if my wife is talking to me a certain way, I turn into like an 8-year-old boy and I'm getting angry now. And it's like, that's not really fair on her. And then you can actually take that to your partner and be like, look, I really struggle when you talk to me in this way. How do we get to a place that when you feel that way, we can take a pause until you have the capacity to share it with me in a way that I can hear? Now, the therapy hasn't like made that go away, but it's given you the tools so that when you're not being triggered on the first time it's being said, you're being triggered on the third time it's being said. And actually, you've now communicated a boundary where it's like, if you talk to me like that, I can't reach you. I'm unreachable because I'm now in a space where I'm uncomfortable and I can't actually hear you when I'm triggered. So this is what you're trying to create for yourself. And so you start there to get language. The language becomes action. And then when you're powerful with your language and your action, your discipline and your consistency, this is where you start finding a coach. Because the coach is there to like actually, what I want to create for myself in the world going forward. They're there to like draw you a picture and color it in for you. And so you might say, I want to make this much, or I want to live this type of lifestyle, and they're going to help you create that. But if you create that lifestyle and every time you're triggered, you want to punch someone in the face, that will destroy what you create. So a lot of celebrities go from, I'm broke, I live in a low income housing, and now I've been turned into a £1 million deal. I've got all this money, but all the rage and all the problems that existed when they had their previous life will be in their new existence. And that's because they didn't have the time to go and challenge those things. That's why when the universe is working on your behavior, it will propel you in this podcast. We'll go from where you are now to now all of a sudden, like Kevin Hart's like, I want to come do your podcast. I'm in town. This is fun. I want to come hang out. You won't have time to sit there and be like, oh, we're going to be huge tomorrow. So let me get therapist in. Let's work on this thing so that I don't mess up my future. So you got to just do it now.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because I'm a testament to what you said. Because the last time you came on, we spoke a little bit about therapy. But after that, that's when I started. And I think I messaged you about where to find therapists as well. And after that is when I started therapy. And then I feel like from where I started, and even if I asked for a therapist, I've come a long way. Because I think one of the main reasons why I started it was because I was like, I don't know myself emotionally sometimes. So I don't know how I feel and why I feel that way. And I had trouble expressing it, especially like with my wife, for example, because I didn't want to feel weak at that moment in time. So
vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable. So we drove through all of that, and obviously it's still a work in progress. I think I've already done like maybe 7 sessions, and I still got probably a lot more. But it's like I've started to put things into practice of how I can open up more and stuff like that. So it's like even for example today actually, and it's a minor thing, but something happened today. And then I went to Abs and I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. And me even communicating that I don't know how to feel about that is a plus, because before I would have just sat in the room by myself and just constantly kind of thought about it myself. But now that I've learned from therapy about how to talk and how to be open, it's actually helped me a lot. So yeah, it's actually really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't even deep that happened today, because it was just like from second nature to do it. But the old me from when our episode was, how many months ago, I wouldn't have done that at all. And even another one, football, like even after football, I had a bad game on Sunday. So I was thinking, I must be done out. It must be over for me in terms of Sunday league. And I was like really thinking like, I was never speaking life into myself after those performances. And then started thinking like a bit of imposter syndrome from work as well. And I was speaking to my therapist about it, and she was just talking about why I felt like that and stuff like that. And since I've had that conversation, if I haven't had those kind of thoughts, I've been like trying to reinforce myself and make myself feel better rather than letting those negative energies come.
I think people feel like men are a consistent flow, like an unlimited energy of just man. Where we can perform this act all year round, all day round, with no break, no doubt, no question. And a lot of it is like, this is why people use bravado or ego as a crutch to navigate things. Because when you're truly powerful, it's because you're disciplined and you have boundaries and you have integrity. So me saying I'm going to be here at a time, always being here at that time is an absolute must. And how I show up is that I'm ready for you is an absolute must. And I think most people don't understand that, like, I'm not powerful because I persuade or manipulate people. I'm powerful because I'm consistent and I'm disciplined. And I know what my gift is, and I share my gift freely and openly. So the power is like, being around this person will help me somehow. But it's 100% your responsibility to like be able to hold that space. Like, you just even saying that creates room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I feel that way. Now there's room and capacity to talk or to be left alone to find the words and come back. People don't understand what the honesty and the truth of the situation can create for you. So for me, I try to stick as close to the truth as possible. And if I'm not telling you the truth, it's not because I've shame, it's because it's none of your business. You don't have the capacity to hold my truth. So it's just none of your business. That's a completely different thing to, I'm embarrassed by this fact about myself and I don't want anybody to know. So I'm just going to keep it in this tiny corner. And if anybody finds out, I'm going to cry or I'm going to be absolutely shattered. When you understand it, it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Just a question.
Yeah, go on.
How do you determine like someone doesn't have the capacity to deal with what you've
It's just an observation. It could be the closest people to you, man. Like, I've been in relationships and I love this person, but they don't have the capacity for the power of what I'm sharing. It's too much. It creates fear in them. Like, if you sit there and be like, I need to quit my job. Like, I'm depressed. I need to quit my job. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I need to quit my job. You say that to your partner. Yes, of course. That's I love you and I want you to have that. But also actually sharing that with her unprepared is like, well, who's going to do the thing that I need? We need the thing. And it becomes about the lack of security, the psychologically unsafe environment that you're potentially going to create with your next step, and not about you. Now you're like, well, you don't care about me because I'm telling you I'm sad. Well, she has to think of the psychological safety of her family. So how you communicate those things matters. You don't get to come to her and just be like, kids, I can't afford to pay the rent. You got to come to them with a plan. So it's knowing who you can or can and can't hold that information. Also, anyone that projects, anyone that comes to unhealthy conclusions. I never forget, there was a time where me and my wife were separating and I was in South Africa and I was just sad. And I remember I called a friend and I said to her, like, I don't even know if I need to go home. Like, I don't even know if my kids even care that I'm here. Like, does it matter? I went in this whole monologue of just like, who cares that I'm not in the house with them? Do they even want me there? Like, that's how I felt in the moment, yeah? She went and told about 15 people.
Oh.
Like, and he doesn't want to go home and he's da-da-da. And I'm like, yo, that was my incomplete emotional thought in the middle of us, like, a thing.
Monologue.
And I realized that, like, nice person, but the feeling I had created a fear in her that made her feel that she needs to tell everybody. And even if she was telling everybody, it's for them to like check in on me and be like, but she's now shared an idea before I'm ready.
Yeah.
So understanding that I can't share those vulnerable things loudly like that, I have to get it processed. I got to sit with my feelings and then present it to the very specific people at the right time. My answer overall was that I needed a wellness team that was not dependent on me providing security, safety, psychological safety, physical safety for them. Because everyone in my life at some point, I create something for. So I can't go to them and be like, I may not be able to provide this month. So having a Reiki, having a medium, having a therapist, having a coach was my way of like, I also have a masseuse, someone who gives me facials. Like I have a team. When I have those people, sharing into those spaces never ever comes at a cost. They're never going to turn around and be like, yeah, but what about the rent and the food and the kids?
Yeah.
There's no need. So I get a much purer interaction there and it's safe for me to share in those spaces. That's a very fortunate answer that takes money, but you can find your own version of that.
Yeah.
There are many, many people who want to show up for you.
No, I hear that. Just because of time, just got two quick questions.
Mm.
The first one, I know you talk a lot about purpose and gift. How do you figure out what your purpose or gift is?
So for the purpose, there's a framework called Ikigai. It's a Japanese framework, and it's really simple to follow. But sit with it for a period of time and keep entering information and data into it, and then you will naturally come to an idea.
Okay.
I think your gift is something that you already know. It's something that you naturally are just expressing and doing on a consistent basis. And it could be just that you're great on the phone with people, and you love talking to people. As a communicator, I don't like sitting on the phone with people for hours. But I'll tell you to come to my house. You can actually move in for 3 days and share all your feelings for 3 days, but you can't have me on the phone because I'm just not a phone person. So when I know what my gift is, and I know that actually as a communicator, as somebody who is strategically in terms of thought, someone who can present ideas, someone who can enroll people into ideas, that is my gift. So that's what I commoditize to make my money and my living. But it's also what I give away for free to some people to ensure that it's important that they understand how do they develop their own. Because I was aimless up until 24. I didn't have a vision or a value of myself. I was just like, you wake up, try and make money, try and find someone to love, and life will just magic itself. Yeah. Then I found the formula really at 28, but by 24, I'd met my now ex-wife, and it was like I wasted time. I felt like I wish I had the information earlier, so I didn't have to make those mistakes. I didn't have to interrupt someone's life with an incomplete version of a man trying to aspire to be a man, making errors left, right, and center, disturbing their peace, and then ultimately to be like, look, I can't hold this space. Like we're incompatible in that vision. If I knew that earlier, God knows what could have happened. Yeah. So it's incredibly important, while I'm fortunate to have an amazing person to raise children with, it's incredibly important that men stop creating relationships incomplete. It does such violence to everybody else. Like if you go outside in a dating pool, it's the ghetto because everybody's fearful of giving and feeling like they're losing. So we've got men over here who are like, I'm not paying for shit. I'm not going out anymore. I want a coffee date. I want to go for a walk. I want a low level income, low level investment to get a potential partner. Women are just like, I'm not putting up with anything less than this. Yeah. So those two groups are just like standing on two sides of an argument, not serving each other. And at some point, they'll just give in, and someone's going to give in and just do what needs to be done. But I think that's an incredible, important example in terms of like how we're developing men at this point. It's like we're developing them outside of community, outside of a purpose. It's just like we're just here, and it's just vibes.
No, honestly. And then the second question is just, so obviously I was looking through when you said about you coming back and the snippet. I think it was this snippet, but it was talking about creating quality time after having kids. How do you do that? So when we obviously do go from 1 to 2 kids, how do you create that quality time?
Look, it gets harder and harder. And I think you have to accept that a period of time means that you're not going to get the relationship that you want. Again, when you talk about forever is an incredibly much longer time than we're ever present to. And so even they're saying that this year can't be a year for this because we're building for this. At a point where you have 2 children under 5, maybe that's a period of time that's going to be harder. But you need to enroll your family. You need to enroll your friends. Have you been able to look after each other's children yet?
Not yet, but there was a time where he was going to because we needed childcare. There was actually a time he was going to, but I decided to just stay home just because I think.
So this is a development, and you got to do it when the risk isn't that high.
Yeah,
like on Thursday we're going out. You need to come and take care of our kids. We need that. Can you do that? Yes, I can. Let's do it. And then we're just gonna go to the simple restaurant, something simple. And if anything goes wrong, you're not far. Yeah. But then by the time it gets to like, oh, I need you right now, and we're gonna be gone for 4 hours, then that's fine. So make sure you're investing in those relationships. When I mean my relationships are intentional, there is no one around me by mistake. Everyone gets held to account. You have to come with care. There's no point being in my life, seeing me this busy, and you just think you're just going to come and have a look and a vibe. Like, what are you adding? Do something. Pick up something. Pick up a child. Do something. Buy me some food. So I think that's a really important thing of like, making sure that that's in your life intentionally at all costs. Do not have relationships with people that are just based on time. Like, I've known you since I was 8, so I'm going to go hang out with you. That's a waste of time.
Struggling with that because that's...
Yeah, but you're a vibes guy, so I assume at some point they're creating some sort of vibe that allows you to have a form of escape. If they have a need, then the need is the need. But I'm telling you now, where you're going, that's not going to help you. Because you actually need stuff. Like, you're going to build this platform to a level where it's like, you say it's on and people are going to stop doing what they're doing to tune in. So the level of threshold of support you need is much higher than vibes. Like, vibes is just like, even my vibes is structured. When I mean I created a group for vibes, but it's structured. So when I'm ready, we go have the most fun. When I'm done, off. Like, I got stuff to do. But I'm still holding my friends to account. Like, bring me something, man. Bring me a booking for something, bro. Do something. Like, we're on a mission right now. And I think that's an important thing. Your friends must be invested in you as a human being. Not really what you do, but just as a human being.
It's good. That's even good because I went to a conference the other week and they were talking about in terms of friendships and being invested in each other's lives, knowing what each other's priorities are for the rest of the year. What's their exercise? I forgot what it was. It was like priorities, interests, goals, and stresses. That was the 3 things that they said. And yeah, it's definitely something that I'm looking to do, even with our man them still, because it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, just because of time, obviously.
What time is it, brother? Have you done the whole
10
hour
past
already?
9. Yeah, 10 past 9. You know when you come, you always come with knowledge, man. The time
I've just been sitting here listening.
Yeah, man.
We didn't even have a chance to go, but okay, man. That's cool, bro. Next time we need 2 hours, though, yeah?
Yeah. Next time, we need a part 3, man.
Do it still.
But no, as always said, bro, like you're a brother of the pod, so you're welcome anytime.
Can I hold you to account on a little bit, though?
Okay, go on.
You promised that you was going to come to Men's Circle. Neither of you did.
Yeah, you know what? You know why I didn't?
It's impossible. It's impossible for that. For whatever that is,
Wait, what?
It's impossible.
No, but I'll come now, though.
You didn't come.
Yeah. Mali had swimming at 9 o'clock.
You gave your word. You didn't reestablish your word. So when I talk about discipline and consistency, it's that. And there's no if, buts, or maybes in the discipline and the consistency.
Yeah.
So the discipline is I have to be there or I got to reestablish my word and be like, for the next 6 months, I'm doing swimming. I can't come.
Yeah.
Second that's over, I'm there.
Yeah, you know what? Fairs. You know
when's the next one?
Every second Saturday. So the next one's next week Saturday. No pressure though.
Next week Saturday. Wait. Next week Saturday.
I think it's the 12th.
Come on. That's your wife's birthday, though.
No, her birthday's on the 10th. But next week Saturday morning, I can.
Next week Saturday. Okay, you know what?
I'm free still.
Let's see, man. There's no pressure.
No pressure. But
I'll come back in 6 months and say this for the third time.
No, but
I'm
you know
free on
what?
Saturday still.
Yeah, you know what? Hold us to account. Anyone message us say, did we go next Saturday? We'll come. Right? No, I'm
Saturday,
serious.
12th of October.
I'm serious because honestly speaking, it was always a thing for me to come. It was just that Mali swim was at 10 o'clock. Like I was
Mm.
telling Ken, like I really want to go. But then when you told me that time was 9 to 11, I said, hey, yeah.
Buddy,
I said, yeah.
when I say about enrolling people
Mm.
to create the possibility for yourself, you got to enroll someone to take that space. Who's going to come in and do swimming on your behalf?
No, true. I hear it.
So
But now
it's
we moved
one
it to
time as
Wednesdays
well.
now,
That's
so-
it. But it's cool. I'll just,
Yeah,
Nah,
next week will be.
Yeah,
there
no,
still.
next week, promise.
We've said it on the
Nah,
episode.
we said it on
He's
the
giving me
Yeah.
avoiding eyes, but I love him, so it's fine. He's saying it, but he's like playing with his hands and he's looking down.
giving the
He's not even looking
confidence.
at me. It's cool though.
No, but I'm looking at
like-
you. I'm looking at you in the eye.
No,
on
I
behalf
hear
of
you.
Don't tell my wife.
But this one's up to something. This is what I'm saying. This is
I
why I
don't
hot him
mean
up,
it.
yeah? Because your behavioural language is a thing
Hey.
that's to be assessed.
Hey, don't kill me.
With love, though. I have to love you before I can hold you to account.
I appreciate it. But I'm
No,
a
but-
fidgety guy anyway.
Yo, what?
I'm a fidgety guy. Like
We need to explore that, bro.
No,
So
but
I'm saying we need
honestly,
2 hours,
yeah.
bro.
This guy is our big.
fair
This
enough,
is
bro.
a
Yeah,
big
big
bro
bro,
of the
man.
pod, man.
Big bro.
Big bro. I'm telling you.
Just bro, because I'm youthful still, bro. Man's in a furry Pixar, bro,
It's
patterned
only,
it.
man, yeah.
Look like I'm on an Instagram For You page and
Hey,
you're
don't
telling me,
kill
big
me.
bro, we're the same, bro. Age mates, one time, just for today.
No, screw it. But no, hey, thank you very, very
Love
much
to
for
you
coming
too,
on,
man.
man. Marvyn,
Thank you for
honestly.
having me, but more
No,
importantly,
anytime,
thank
man.
you for being committed to this work.
Anytime.
It's a great message you put
Nah,
in the
yeah,
world.
man, we're trying. No,
Thank
thank you, man, and thank you for actually seeing us and actually, investing in us.
Yeah.
'cause
Means
you
a lot.
actually, honestly, it
I'll be
does.
back
It's
in
not
6 months,
nothing
bro.
like.
You know, right now, man.
Yeah,
Make it
no,
happen.
thank you, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know everyone's pretty sure where they can find you, but obviously, just say it again
Just
for them.
at Discover with Marvyn, at Dope Black Dads. Yeah, wherever you find me, you see me, but
Yeah.
definitely there. Also hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm popping on LinkedIn too. So
Hey
it's my
man,
own thing,
and you know what? Even follow what he's doing, man, because the fight for paternity leave, all that. See, there's so much more stuff we
Bro,
can
we
talk
didn't even
about.
get into, man.
Yeah.
But please go to the Dad Shift UK, and we're talking about changing paternity leave to make sure men get longer and more money when they're taking time off to spend time with their children. It's incredibly important. We have a meeting with the government coming up really soon, and a couple of other things that are happening. So super dope.
Yeah, man. Make sure you support it. But yeah, another week from us. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all of those things, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Sweet.
All right, peace out.
Peace out.
But even I forgot about that.